Some brand new information was just released about the upcoming Pokemon Scarlet and Violet anime series, and as much as I wish it wasn't so, it has caused a little bit of a stir in the community. A little bit of a stir and a fair amount of backlash and anger and frustration too. I think we all wanted the upcoming anime series to calm down the fanbase a little bit after how riled up we all got in Pokemon Journeys, but sadly it seems that it may have set off on the wrong foot, and I want to talk all about it. First of all though, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I would really appreciate it. And now let's get to the discussion. Oricon News just revealed more information about the Scarlet and Violet anime, including the things I mentioned in my previous video, like the air date of April the 14th, and this new image of Liko mentioning that she's a girl from Paldea with a mysterious pendant necklace. But then it also gave a brief description of the Scarlet and Violet anime, and this is what it says. The new series will be a new dream and adventure set in the entire Pokemon world, where Liko and Roy will go on adventures with many Pokemon, including Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley. Man. So that means that it's confirmed that the Scarlet and Violet anime is set in the entire Pokemon world, just like Pokemon Journeys was, travelling around the world and focusing on every region and every part of the game series. Not just on the current generation, not just on the current region. I'm pretty sure almost all of us were expecting that after the negative reception towards Pokemon Journeys and how it handled travelling around the world, that the new series, the Scarlet and Violet anime, would somewhat return to the previous formula, focusing on just the new games and just the new region, so fully focused on Scarlet and Violet and the Paldea region. But clearly that is not the approach the new series is taking. And to be honest, maybe we should have predicted that, considering the new series is just titled Pokemon 2023, rather than something like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon Journeys received a lot of hatred and backlash for how it handled its formula, like I said. Generation 8 and the Galar region and the Galar Pokemon and the Galar characters received almost no focus at all. It was really disappointing for a lot of us in that way, and as much as we enjoyed focusing on older aspects and older regions and older characters too, it really did completely do the new generation dirty. Fans have been so vocal about disliking that. I mean, we only saw 6 of the 16 gym leaders that appeared in Sword and Shield, and then half of the Generation 8 Pokemon received like no focus and no episodes, and then the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra barely even appeared. Marnie only got 1 episode, Hop was a glorified cheerleader, Bede didn't even appear. In general, the representation of Generation 8 in Pokemon Journeys was abysmal, and now it seems that the new Generation 9 Scarlet and Violet anime could be taking a similar approach again, of not properly focusing on the new generation. It sounds like it could essentially be Pokemon Journeys 2, but just without Ash and without Go, and of course without the nostalgic aspects of Ash reuniting with all his old friends and Pokemon. And man, when I tell you there was big backlash to this reveal about the new anime being set all around the world, I'm really not kidding, dude. The announcements got hundreds of angry comments and hundreds of angry quote retweets. It seems a lot of people are upset that the series is seemingly replicating the Pokemon Journeys formula, because a lot of the fan base really didn't like the approach that Pokemon Journeys took. And to be honest, I totally get it. I even tweeted myself about being a little bit worried about the announcement. Personally, I had a lot of issues with Pokemon Journeys, and one of those issues was definitely about how poorly Galar was handled, so I can't lie and say I'm not a little bit concerned that Paldea could have the same treatment, but I also really think that we need to be a little bit more optimistic, because at the end of the day, who's to say that the writers didn't learn from their mistakes and learned from the backlash towards Pokemon Journeys? Maybe they saw the fan reception and learned a lesson from it. They learned what to do and what not to do. I genuinely think that's very possible, dude, and I think we can already see that happening even in the little amount of information that we have about the new series. For example, it seems that the Scarlet and Violet anime is actually going to be set in Paldea, but will also feature travelling around the world, which is already a massive improvement over Journeys in that way, because for some reason Journeys was set in Kanto and not in Galar. I still don't really understand that, dude. And another example is that the 3 Generation 9 starter Pokemon are the main Pokemon in the series from the very beginning, so that's definitely a good sign that the new series is going to show off the new Pokemon much more. And a final example is that Liko literally has a terrestrial crystal around her neck, so clearly the Generation 9 terrestrial industrialization gimmick is going to be focused on heavily, unlike how underdeveloped Dynamax was in Pokemon Journeys. So yeah, it really does feel like the writers have learned from their mistakes in Pokemon Journeys and want to try and give the worldwide series another go, but hopefully this time executing it much better. And as much as I do think an entire series set in Paldea would be perfect, I do also think that it's very possible for them to do a worldwide series and still handle Scarlet and Violet perfectly. They can find a really good balance, I know they can. I mean, for example, what if most of the episodes are set in Paldea and focused on Scarlet and Violet, but then maybe once every 5 or 6 or 7 episodes they go on a school field trip to another region? Maybe that could be a great way to focus on Scarlet and Violet while also bringing back past characters. For example, they could go to other regions and battle past gym leaders like Misty, Clement, or other less major ones. Or maybe they could meet past champions in other regions. Maybe they could go and watch contests or showcases featuring Dawn or Serena or May. The fact that the series is going to be worldwide means there's a ton of potential for past characters and past locations and past stories to return, which could be a really exciting and naturally fitting element of the series alongside the focus on Paldea. And of course, as I'm sure many of you are already thinking, traveling around the world also makes the chances of Ash and Pikachu returning much more likely too. It's not confirmed at all, of course, but I can't imagine this series being set all around the world, with the main characters traveling all around the world all the time, but then neglecting Ash and Pikachu by never showing them or never mentioning them again. So if you're gonna miss Ash and Pikachu and you want to see them again, then I really do think the approach the Scarlet and Violet anime is taking really does increase the chance of that dynamic duo returning. So while I totally understand the anger of the fan base, and while I'm also worried that the series could just turn into Pokemon Journeys 2 with all the same issues and all the same discussions, I'm still super hopeful and super optimistic that it could be great. It really does feel like the writers have learned from and have started correcting all of the goof-ups they made in Pokemon Journeys, so I truly think it's best to give them a chance and see what they can create for us. The concept of a worldwide series, if executed well, could be beyond amazing. If the writers can pull off that approach perfectly, then the Scarlet and Violet anime could be the best and one of the most exciting ways to carry the series forward ever. It would be amazing for new fans and old fans, and that is what I really think the writers are trying to achieve. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this new information regarding the Scarlet and Violet anime. Are you happy that the series is taking the Pokemon Journeys approach, or were you hoping for a series like X and Y or Sun and Moon, where the new region is the entire focus? Like I said, there's definitely a lot of anger and backlash online, especially on Twitter, that I've seen. People are really worried about this series becoming Pokemon Journeys 2.0. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed hearing my thoughts. This was a really interesting topic to talk about, especially because we'll be able to look back at this video in like a year and see how right or horrendously wrong I was to be optimistic. But hey, that's all part of the fun of content creation. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter and join our community Discord server using the link in the video description. And I think that's just about everything. So thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again.